What do you need in your bullet journal? That's a question that my mom asked me recently as she's exploring the whole bullet journaling rabbit hole. And I figured many people may be asking themselves the same question. Bullet journaling does look very interesting when you look at pictures on Pinterest or even YouTube or Instagram. It can be very attractive visually, but when we see those pictures, we don't really know the mechanics that go behind, or rather the decision-making process that takes place behind every bullet journal. And it can be hard, well, not hard, it can be complex to explain because every personalized planners, but because that's really what they are, they're very personalized planners. They will all be different from each other because they respond to the need that each person has when it comes to the things that they need to take care of, the things that they need to do, the things that they need to track, etc. So in this video I want to answer the question, or rather in this video I want to show you my process for figuring out what I need in my bullet journal. And even though I've used them for about 7 years on and off, this is a very strong comeback I made into this planning process. And I think I've made it work for me because I've been really thinking about what I need, and each one of them has different things because every time I finish one of these notebooks, I do have notes to myself about this didn't work, I will need this next time, it would be nice to have these, things like that. So I will share with you the process that I go through to decide what I add in my personal planner. So let me move this to the side. Okay, for the purpose of this video and to try to make this as simple as possible as a concept, I will show you how I decided what I want in my bullet journal when it comes to social media, or rather my social media bullet journal. So before I was doing everything related to my social media here in my Hobonichi weeks. Here I did some brainstorming, wrote down ideas. I've been keeping track of how I'm doing with publishing videos and Instagram posts, and this gives me like a bird's eye view. This shows me right from the start how I'm doing each month or if I'm falling behind. Same with my weeklies. So if I go over here, this week I did fairly well, and here I started falling behind. So I've been using this, but lately this doesn't feel like it fits anymore with what I need. So I decided I would have a separate bullet journal just for my social media and everything related to my personal goals. Basically everything I have in this one. This is what I'm reading, in which page I am on each book, some notes on what I'm reading. Again, bird's eye view of my week and what I did to advance, those very small wins towards my goals. And for example, this week I don't have much, so it was probably either a very busy week, but it shows me that I didn't really have time for myself. That this is why it is important for me to have it separate from my daily planning book, because here every single day there's something. It's rare for days to not have anything. I may have just a paragraph, but at least something. So this always, or rather more often than not, this looks busy. Here I can see here my week, didn't have much time for myself. Then I got back on track, and it goes on and on like that. So blank pages show me weeks that either I didn't have time for myself, or I just didn't, I prioritized some other things that do not, don't involve my goals. One of my goals is to read as often as possible because, reading is good for the soul and for the mind. And, drawing and having moments to do art and tracking my health. So that's why it is important for me to have this separate, because as something is separate from my personal planner, it gives me a very good assessment of how I'm doing with these two aspects of my life. Okay, so going back to how do I incorporate that into a bullet journal? So it goes something like this. I know social media is something I need to have separate. The main aspects of my social media are my YouTube channel and the Instagram account linked to this YouTube channel. Okay, let's be more specific. What do I need to see or keep track of when it comes to my YouTube channel? Okay, publishing dates. What else? Brainstorming. My analytics for my channel. And for my content, I need to know, the different stages to publish my content. So those are the main things for my YouTube channel. Now for my Instagram, it's very simple. Dates. That way I know maybe I should publish something today or tomorrow, or I don't know. I can know if I'm falling behind or if I'm on track. So for both of these, I know that I need to have a monthly view of these two things. So for my publishing and Instagram, I need a monthly view. And I also know that for my publishing dates, I need to see how I'm doing every week. For my analytics, I know this goes in my monthly view. My stages of my publishing process goes in my weekly view. And brainstorming, for this, I need blank space. Okay, so that's kind of it. I also know that I need for scheduling, maybe I want to publish this and this each week. That goes, part of my dates goes also not only in the monthly, but also in weekly planning. Okay. I know it's messy, but it will make sense as we move on, hopefully. So basically with what I have in here, like I showed you, Hobonichi Weeks would do the job. It has all these spaces and I don't have to take the time to do anything personalized. But like I mentioned, I also want to use this same bullet journal for my goal planning, 1%, small wins, things like that. So I call that my 1% planner. So in here, I know I want to track what I'm reading, art, learning, because I do take courses almost every month. Vocabulary. I know that for all of these, I like to see weekly progress. And I also like to see, month end and start. When I start a book, when I end it, when I start a course, and when I end it. So in my monthly goes my start and finish. And kind of like a separate section is my goals. Those are family goals, work-related goals, health goals. For these, I also like to see weekly progress and a monthly review of the things I want to tackle and the things I achieved. So, monthly review. That's pretty much it. So right from the start, I know I do need a monthly view, full month, where I can see my weeks, like here. Because, this is my bird's view of how I did in the month. Right from the start, I know I need a monthly calendar, full month. Also, I know that I need a week, and I would like to have separate, like in here, what I published, and I want to have separate my 1%, everything related to what I call my 1%. I also know that I want some space for social media planning. And it's always good to have a separate section for important things or notes. And what I call my basket, my basket would be these lists I have on the side, my task lists basically. So it would be like I want to publish X, Y, and Z this week, ideally, and A. And maybe on Monday I would like to publish this one, and on Tuesday I would like to publish this one. So this is more like a basket or brain dump, and this is assigning a date to each item on my list, or task list, to-do list, brain dump, however you like to call it. Okay, so this is what I have been working on for my social media goals bullet journal. Okay, I know I need my months. I hope this is visible because here I have pencil. Let me get you closer. Okay, there. So I sketched in pencil my month. I did pretty much something like this. Just monthly view where I can see each week. But I have more space. This is an Apica A5 notebook. The paper is fantastic. I have the number very big for the month, and then I have my weeks and my boxes. That way I can have my color coding for my YouTube videos and my Instagram posts. And this right column is what I'm going to use for my monthly review, like my monthly assessment. So goals, my goals for the month and what I achieved, my wins basically. And these boxes, they will also track when I start a book and when I finish it. So there's that. And that's what I have in here. So this is what are my goals for the month. This is January. And these are my wins for the month. Here, what I published on my social media, when I start a book, when I finish it, when I start an online course or a class, and things like that. Now, for my weeklies, I did something very similar to what I had on this bullet journal. Okay, this is it's very similar. The number on top, very small each day of the week, but I knew I wanted boxes for each different categories. So the first one is for important notes and to take note of the weather. When you're shooting videos, it's good to know when it's going to be cloudy and you won't have natural light. That's why it's important for me to know how the weather for the week. So this first column, and I have a note here, is for important notes and weather. Next, social media. This is going to be for this. So my pink box for my Instagram posts and my red box for my YouTube posts. That way I can see very clearly in my week when I published what. And like I did in here, I don't only have the boxes, like I have some words that let me know what I published. There's that. Then this line is very faint. I'll do them with pen so you can see them more clearly. There's And I am not doing kind of the same categories for Saturday and Sunday because I like to spend my weekends with my family. If I can get some things done, that's awesome. But I don't force myself to meet deadlines on my weekends. Okay, so this is for everything related to my 1% or my goals. Here I would write kind of like here, where is it? The book I'm reading, in which page I am, and if I did some sketching or if I continued drawing or which course I took that day, things like that. I don't have much space to write down what I read each day. I could use this space. I think I will do that. So because I was leaving this space for my social media planning, when I want to publish each thing, but I don't need this much space. So where's my ruler? Here. Let's separate that. Okay, so now we know this is for social media planning. This way I can separate my reading from the rest of the things I'm tracking related to my goals. So if I sketched, if I draw, if I took a course, that will go on the top. The things I read, the books I read, will go on the bottom with a little summary of what I read. So here's reading. This is 1%. Sorry. Social media. So these are posts. And I know that the top is always for weather and important notes. Okay, so next, the bottom space. Oh, let me separate. Should I? Wait. Okay, now I have my weekend very clearly. This space is for important things related to the things I'm tracking here, maybe a personal deadline. So and over here, this is my brain dump, or my task list, to-do list, my basket. There. Okay, so let's check the stages of my publishing process. It goes in here. So, and actually I can do kind of like a Kanban board here. So the first box can be for video shooting. The second box can be for editing, and the third, well, published will go here in the top, because here's where I see what I published. So it could go like that. So for example, this video, let's call it Bujo Basics. I would have it in here, and I can say I want to shoot it on Tuesday, and edit on Wednesday, and maybe publish this same day. So I could have it in here. I would have my box, my colored box, not checked, so I would have Bujo Basics. And once I publish it, I do a check mark. So this is how it would work. Okay, so going back, analytics in my monthly, stages in here. Brainstorming, it goes in here. Publishing dates in my monthly, and here in my weekly. So we tackled everything in here. Now, learning, it goes in here with my 1% area. Reading goes in here. Art, 1%. Vocabulary, and everything related to my goals basically goes in here. So that's pretty much it. So this part is a bird's eye view of my weekly progress towards my goal. And these areas are like a weekly view of my progress when it comes to my social media. And because I do need space to, brainstorm, write down ideas, I have my month. And then I have blank pages. So I think I will do either a month or maybe 3 months at a time, a quarter at a time, and then have blank pages for notes. If you decide to try something like this, just keep in mind that the whole point of creating your own planning system is to find and design something that fits your needs. I usually use either the back pages of a notebook that I like, or just in the front. I use them to sketch things that may work for me. Once I have an idea, like I showed you here in my mind map, once I have an idea of the main things I want to tackle in my planner, I brainstorm, I look for inspiration on Instagram, on YouTube, on Pinterest, and I sketch out possible ways of designing my own planner that could help me tackle all the areas I want to tackle. And it doesn't have to be like just a blank notebook that you create into a planner, because that does take time and work. Use whatever works for you, change it, adapt it, play with it. I got back into bullet journaling because I had this notebook where I was, just sketching ideas or spreads that I found interesting, and I write where it is from. Like this one is from Elise Corner. She's a YouTuber, and I loved she spread, and I played around with different fonts and maybe different things I could have in here. And then here on the right side, I played more with different ways of having like a monthly or future log. And I started just working in here because, I've been getting in the habit of putting in paper everything that I find inspiring. So I started like just doing spreads for different sizes. This is for an A6 Leuchtturm, like this is the size of the page. And the more I started playing with this, I just felt the need to go back to bullet journal, because at some point I found something that did work for me. Looking for inspiration somewhere else, and I did adapt a system and created a layout that worked for me, which was this very minimal, very clean, very straightforward timeline. This one, well, I did adjust my weekly to these things. The following weeks, I'm leaving them blank in case I want more space for time blocking. My plan for 2022 is to do time blocking in here in a very constrained space. So if I find that I want more space, I will make adjustments. So that's another tip that I want you to take in mind. Always be open for adjustments. But like I mentioned, you don't have to do something from scratch. In the past, I have adapted planners to fit my journaling and planning needs. This Moleskine Pro, Moleskine Pro Weekly Diary. I think it's a great, if you don't care for fountain pens, or working with a fountain pen is not essential for you, and you don't use watercolor or wet media on your planners, this is still a great option for a notebook, bullet journal, planner, things like that. And in 2018, I adapted this one as a bullet journal. I added this sheet from the back. I just removed it from the blank pages in the back, added here, added a design, and then I used this for my notes for the months. Then here we had my goals, the books I'm reading. So this really worked as a bullet journal where my weeklies were already set and ready to go, and I could just make art. The funny thing is, this is where I realized that doing art in my planner didn't work for me, because the months when I didn't feel like doing any artsy stuff, those months I didn't feel like using it. I felt like it wasn't ready to be used. I don't know, it felt like it wasn't ready to go. And the last pages of this planner just turned into a notebook, a regular notebook for common notes, and I stopped planning. And I just kept doing to-do lists on a Post-it note. This is when it was very clear to me that planning and art don't go together with me. It slows down my planning process. That's why I have so many sketchbooks where I go nuts when it comes to creative expression and art. And I keep my planners very minimal, very straightforward, no pre-artsy things. Um, if you can see here in my last bullet journals, my weeklies were also very straightforward. I may add some stickers here and there, but I keep the extra stuff as minimal as possible. Most of the colorful things that you see in here, they're stickers and T-pins and pieces of paper and washes. I didn't set some time apart at the end of the month, or at the beginning of the month, or at the beginning of the week, to make it look pretty before I use it. That doesn't work for me. That works for many people. It doesn't work for me. So yeah, to wrap things up, feel free to experiment. Have a folder on your Pinterest, or collect on Instagram the things that you find inspiring. Play around with them, adapt them to your needs, and create, a planner that is unique for you and helps you stay on track with your goals, which is what a planner is supposed to do. I hope this video was useful for you. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye bye.